I am tired of explaining myself to people who have never loved me. They ask why I am the way I am, as if 1960 was the year I was born, as if I did not exist before they arrived with Bibles and borders, as if my memory does not stretch back to bronze and kingdoms and trade routes that connected 3 continents. I remember who I was before they told me who to be. I was Ife, where the world began. I was Benin, where walls rose higher than anything in Europe. I was Kano, where indigo dye stained the hands of merchants who traded with Cairo and Mecca. I was whole. I was many. I was never meant to be one. But they came with their pains and drew me into a box. 300 languages, 250 ethnic groups, forced into a marriage we never chose. And then they left. And then they watched. And then they judged me for bleeding. You want to know why I bleed? Because I am stitched together from wounds that were never allowed to heal. Because my children were taught to hate each other's gods, each other's tongues. Because the men who rule me now learn governance from the men who looked at me then. But I am still here. And that is the path they never can explain. I should have collapsed in 1967. 3 years of civil war, 1 million dead, starvation used as a weapon. But I did not collapse. I buried my children and kept walking. I should have collapsed in the 80s. Military coups like a revolving door. Abacha's boots on my neck. But I did not collapse. I learned to breathe through the weight. I should have collapsed in the 2000s. Boko Haram in the north, militancy in the south, corruption in every corridor. But I did not collapse. I learned that survival is not the same as living. But it is still something. You see me on your screens and think you know me. You see the generator smoke and the traffic and the headline about kidnappings. You see the Nigerian prince emails and laugh. You see my children living on planes and assume I have nothing left to give. But you do not see what I see. I see the woman in Oshodi who sells tomatoes at 5 a.m., who sent 3 children to university on the back of her head. I see the boy in Aba who builds furniture from scraps, whose hands are so skilled he could work anything and anywhere in the world. But he stays because this is home. I see the girl in Calabar who writes poems in 3 languages, who will never be published but writes anyway because words are the only thing that cannot be taken. I see the mechanic in Kaduna who fixes cars with no parts, who invents solutions because waiting for help is not an option. I see my children creating in the dark. Literally, the power is out again. But they are coding apps by candlelight. They are shooting films on phones. They are recording Afrobeats in bedrooms that became studios after midnight. I see them leave, and it breaks me every time. Not because they are weak, but because they are brilliant, and I cannot give them what they deserve. Not yet. But some of them come back. And that is the part that keeps me alive. They come back with degrees, dollars, and dreams. And they build anyway. They open businesses that should not survive, but do. They start schools in villages that do not appear on maps. They refuse to let me die. Because I am not just a country to them. I am their mother. And you do not abandon your mother because she is struggling. Yes, I am struggling. I will not lie to you the way my politicians lie to me. I am exhausted. I am angry. I am so tired of being strong. There are days I want to give up. Days when the fuel lines stretch for miles and the banks have no cash and the hospitals have no medicine and the promises taste like ash. Days when I wonder if I am cursed. Days when I look at my children killing each other over religion, over region, over nothing. And I want to scream, I did not survive this long for you to destroy what is left. But then the sun rises over Lagos Lagoon, and the call to prayer echoes through the Kano at dawn. And the church bells rings in Enugu, and the masquerade dances in Benin, and jollof rice is cooking every kitchen from Madurugi to Port Harcourt. And I remember, I am not one thing. I am everything. I am Muslim and Christian and traditionalist. I am Hausa proverbs and Igbo entrepreneurship and Yoruba philosophy. I am the grandmother's rapper and the DJ's turntable. I am the past that will not die and the future that will not wait. I am the country that was never supposed to work. And I do not work, not the way they designed me to, but I work the way I was always meant to. Chaotic, creative, impossible, unstoppable. I am the traffic jam that somehow keeps moving. I am the generator that kicks on when the grid fails. I am the party that starts at midnight when the week has been unbearable. I am the laughter that comes after the tears because what else can you do? I am not perfect. I am not even close. But I am real. And maybe that is what they cannot forgive. That I refuse to be the tragedy they wrote for me. That I refuse to perform my pain for their cameras. That I insist on dancing even when the music stops. They want me to be a lesson, a cautionary tale, a before and after photo in the development reports. But I am not a project. I am a people. 230 million people who wake up every day and choose to keep going. Not because it is easy, not because it is fair, but because this is ours. And we do not let go of what is ours. So yes, I am tired. Yes, I am bleeding. Yes, I am angry at the men who have betrayed me, at the systems that have failed me, at the world that watches me struggle and calls it entertainment. But I am still here, and I am not going anywhere, because I am Nigeria, and I have survived worse than this, and I will survive whatever comes next. Not because I am strong, but because I have no other choice. And maybe one day, when my children finally come home for good, when the light stays on through the night, when a young girl in Calabar gets published, when a boy in Aba opens his own factory, when a woman in Oshodi can finally rest, maybe then I will not have to explain myself anymore. Maybe then they will finally see me, not as a headline, not as a stereotype, not as a problem to be solved, but as I am. Wounded, resilient, alive, Nigeria. Still here, still fighting, still becoming.